Hello sober souls, how are you today? Welcome to day 2 of the Roots of Resilience 5-day challenge. And today is one that I am feeling really excited about because we're talking about discomfort and how it's the only way through. And I'm really going to give you some juicy stuff today to help you to navigate this. This is something that I used to really struggle with, and it's still a practice as I'm now, fine without alcohol, but I'm on my sugar freedom journey. And so today I'm going to help you really with my experiences, the lessons that I'm learning, and hopefully you will take away some tips and inspiration. And remembering we are a big community, all doing this together, all on the same journey, different experiences, but the same journey. So welcome. As you're joining me live, pop a hello in the comments if you'd love to. Give the heart a like to the video. You know what I mean, I can't get my words out. Please give the video a heart or a like because it really helps boost our group so more people can find us. And if you're catching up on the replay later, it's #replay. Please put in the comments any questions, anything that you're not clear about, or feel free to send me a private message. I love to hear from you and I love to connect. So yesterday in my Facebook stories, I shared this little card here, which I wanted to show you. If you can see, it's called Being with Discomfort. And there's a reason I'm going to share this card with you. If you want to know, I got it from this Soulful Woman deck, guidance cards. Really gorgeous cards. Actually were given to me as a present from a client, which was just so amazing. And I love them. And they have really helped me on my own journey. But I wanted to read you quickly what it says about being with discomfort, because what I did is I took a photo of this card. It inspired me so much, and it's one of the things that I have been really committed to be working on in my own journey, and really wanting to become friends with discomfort so that I can work with it rather than against it. I'll be talking about this more, but what I did is I took a photo of it, I printed the photo out, and it's on my vision board, because everything on my vision board is real priorities. It's things that mean a lot to me, so maybe that's something you would love to do, maybe not. So Being with Discomfort, this is the little guidebook that comes with these beautiful cards, and it says this: beneath any pain I may feel, my soul essence awaits me. When I am stirred up, hurt, or thrown off balance, I resist running away from my tears or my anger. And instead I allow myself to sink deeper and deeper within myself, and a shift inevitably takes place. I reach my inner light, pure and luminous, still there, still intact. It is as pure as the day I was born, shining, resilient, brilliant, like a diamond. And so the affirmation on the card, on the front of this card, is: at times of discomfort, I courageously seek my soul essence, which is clear, pure, and luminous. And to me, that just, if I was to sum up discomfort, it would be this. It would be everything that we are looking for, that whole kind of soul freedom. Everything that we want is the other side of the discomfort. And we will always be uncomfortable. It comes in waves, because every time we push ourselves, of course it's going to feel uncomfortable, because that's what growth is. But the more we practice it, the more we're okay with it, and the more it's just not a thing. It's just, oh yeah, this feels uncomfortable, but we know, we train our minds to see further ahead. This is such an important topic. It's so important. And I remember when it was actually the accountability partner I had for my sugar freedom journey. And we used to text each other, send each other messages most days. And I remember we were having this conversation in Messenger about sitting with the void, the emptiness. And I remember sending her a message saying, I wish I could just get to the place where I'm okay with being in that void, that discomfort, that empty space, and I can feel it, and I'm not running for cake or running for chocolate or looking to numb and squash, which is what I was doing when I was drinking, and most of us do. We don't want to feel because it feels uncomfortable. And she said, me too, you know, I would so love that. And I remember inside just making a promise to myself that that's my work. I've always felt in my heart that that's the thing that's been pulling me, that's been like leading me forwards, the hand of discomfort. And I've been following those whispers very begrudgingly sometimes, digging my heels in a rebel popping out, and the child stomping its feet saying it's not fair, and just remembering to keep coming back. That's all. That's the message, is literally just, it's a practice. Keep coming back. So there's a real importance for all of us on this journey that embracing discomfort is crucial in creating lasting change. Now, yesterday I mentioned about the door. We're standing in front of the door, and everything that we want, our soul freedom, our dream life, dream us, is on the other side of that door. And we are going to be walking through that door, but not yet. Yesterday we opened that door a little and the light was starting to come in. Now today we're going to open that door halfway. So let's open that door halfway. So more light is coming in. More light, gorgeous, golden, sunshiny light. It lights up your face and it's like, oh, look, fresh energy, new opportunity. I wonder what's the other side of the door. And you can almost start to get a sense of excitement and curiosity. Maybe a little bit of fear mixed in there, but that's okay, because you know you're going to walk through that door soon. But you can sense your freedom. You can start to really feel it. And maybe you can even hear it. You can hear sounds that you would associate with your new dreamy life. So we don't need to go through that door today, but we are just standing here at this door and we're just noticing our internal reactions. So this is what I want to invite for all of us, is to just stand here, just allow and absorb, take what feels good, leave what doesn't, and start to picture possibility, new beginnings, setting intentions for what we would love to create, because we are the creators and we get to change. We can just decide to change. Now, yes, this comes back to discomfort, of course. So let's talk about discomfort. There is a scale of discomfort. there's low level discomfort. So let's just talk about low level discomfort. So this would be kind of everyday challenges that we have, just normal minor stresses, things that are just like maybe inconveniences that don't really seem hugely significant, but I would actually consider them to be energy drainers. And think about how many everyday things that could be. And just something silly's popped into my head, but it's a really annoying thing. Like, I have a pair of rubber gloves that I always wear rubber gloves when I do the washing up. I love washing up, by the way. Probably the only person in the world that loves washing up. But they've started to get a little hole in the glove. So every time I wash up, it's letting water in, which feels really, really annoying. And I find that actually quite stressful. Not a major stress, but it's an annoyance. And I'm like, Kath, you still haven't bought the rubber gloves. So all I need to do is write rubber gloves on the shopping list, and then I won't forget to buy them. But think about like the amount of things every day, like we're driving along and someone pulls out in front of us, or we've left our phone at home, or we've gone to the shops and we've forgotten to buy something, or we didn't have time to do our morning ritual, right? But they're just maybe minor, not like major things. So the important thing with these minor stresses is to acknowledge that, first of all, because we have a lot of these, they almost have this snowball effect, and they accumulate and they accumulate, and they lead to larger issues. So by the time we've finished work, we're home, we're changing hats, we're back to being a mum, we're a wife, whatever, or we're just like, maybe we're alone, all different circumstances, but we're changing hats. Well, maybe you've been used to dealing with that stress and that pressure by drinking wine. So my patterning was drinking wine pretty much most nights, my beloved glass of Merlot, bottle, Haribo. Yes, I'd have a decent meal, but most of the time, maybe I couldn't be bothered to cook. I do have a lovely husband that is a great cook, but it could be I'm feeling tired, I'm exhausted, haven't really taken care of myself, so I just grab the nearest most convenient thing, shove it in the microwave, not really giving myself any care or any great nutrition. So this will lead to this eats away. It's like a little worm eating away and taking from us. It's robbing us. And if you think about all of these things accumulating, we can really start to understand this low level everyday discomfort. And it's not only things like that, but think about other people as well, people we're working with. I'm just checking I forgot to, there we go. Yeah, people we're working with and all their stresses and all their moods and everything that they're dealing with. And for those of us that are sensitive, it's like we're absorbing that. So no wonder, and then there's all this stuff on the news that we're watching. There's a lot going on, isn't there? And no wonder. So that's the first part, is just really acknowledging and accepting that we have these things. And a lot of it is just stuff that we have responsibilities and we need to be doing these things, but there is a lot of it that we can really cut down and eliminate on. And that's one of the things that I help with, is really almost not addressing the drinking as the big major thing, but it's before we do that, it's like digging down into the roots, getting to the stresses and to the things that are really chipping away at your energy and your mind and your mood, and seeing how we can improve those things. So it's a great opportunity for you to start looking at, well, what am I saying yes to? Do I need to set some boundaries? Do I need to become a bit more unavailable and start putting myself first, taking care of my own energy first? So that's kind of like looking at low level discomfort. And then the second thing is feeling our feelings. Whew, this feels like a big one, and this is something I didn't even want to talk about in the early days. I didn't want to. I remember as soon as I felt uncomfortable, and I'd be having huge cravings, either cravings for wine and then sugar freedom journey, cravings for sugar, or cravings to spend loads of money, or just, I felt like I was always on the hunt for something external to make me feel better, something to give me comfort, something to give me a dopamine hit, something to give me a bit of excitement, a bit of a boost, a bit of a, I don't know, I just felt without something, I felt unsafe, I felt bored, unmotivated. I felt like I was constantly chasing, almost like that hungry ghost. So when I stopped drinking, it was back to chasing the sugar. And when I stopped sugar, I found that really, really hard because sugar is everywhere. So my journey really over the last year has been working with discomfort, and I am so much further along since even a couple of years ago. I can remember a couple of years ago just feeling so pissed off with myself. Like, I kept self-sabotaging with sugar and I just couldn't figure out how to do it. In fact, I knew the answer. I knew I just had to sit with the discomfort, sit with the feeling of you know, I knew that. But it felt just so, I just didn't want to go there. But I had to really accept that if I really wanted to live, this is what's important to me, to live a really conscious, intentional choices where I feel empowered, where I feel in control. And if I want to have a piece of cake, I will have a piece of cake. But if I do, it's not done from a place of, oh my God, give me a piece of cake, I'm really stressed. It would be a very, like, I'm going to have a piece of cake and I'm going to have it like when I meet up with my mum, for example, and it's going to be a really special thing. So my whole mindset has really, really shifted. And what has really helped me with that is going through discomfort. And feeling my feelings is key. I will always, always now feel my feelings. So most people, not most people, but many, many people will turn to different substances to avoid confronting their emotions. Now, the emotions is the second branch of the wellness tree. So that's what we work on in our programs and things. If you go to the wellness tree video, the workshop, I talk about how to set your tree up. I talk about the roots. And if you want to learn more about the wellness tree, then come and join the reset at the end of this 5 days, and you can do that. But the deep emotional work we actually do, you would do that with me in a paid program. But for you today, I really encourage you. First of all, I'm going to say if you need professional support with this, definitely get that in. If you need some counselling, if you need some therapy, whatever you feel you need, definitely get that help in. I didn't feel I needed any help with that, and I chose to work it, through with myself. Probably if I'd got some support with that, it would have been a lot quicker and easier. I did get support from a somatic therapist who helped to release some really stuck traumas and things that I couldn't seem to work through myself, and that was amazing. But most of this I have done with my journal, literally just pen, paper, feeling the discomfort, writing it, processing it, feeling it. And this is the real key. So I want to show you how, if you don't know, because many people don't know how to do this, to feel their feelings. So I will show you how to do this. So when you have an uncomfortable feeling, because most of us like the good feelings, like I feel really happy, I feel productive, I feel excited, I feel la-di-da. Life's not like that. We're not like that all the time. And I used to think there's something wrong with me. I should be happy and full of beans every day, but no, we're just not like that. So I would avoid anger and sadness, and I had a lot of underlying anger and sadness, and this all stems from childhood, particularly the sadness one, and I didn't know why. And I still get this sometimes. I still get this sadness feeling, but I've really figured out like how to work with it. So what we want to do is just first of all acknowledge how we're feeling. Name it if you can, and if you can't, it doesn't matter. Now I used to think, oh, you have to dig and dig and dig and find out why we're feeling this. Like I used to do so much analysing and working through it and thinking I had to find out the reason why. You don't need to. We are literally just wanting to feel it. And this really takes the pressure off when we realise we don't have to do all this work. We don't. It's not a thinking, logical mind journey. This is feeling. It's literally energy in our body that just needs to pass on through. And so we acknowledge the feeling, we connect with it, we feel it. And sometimes we can just ask, like, sadness, I feel you. Like, thank you for showing me that you're there, and I'm sorry you're sad, and what are you needing? What do you need? Like maybe you just need to give yourself some extra love, like a big hug, some extra nurture and self-care and comfort, and have an easier day. Just carve out some time for you. You can really process this stuff through journaling. And then I would really recommend movement of some kind, like going for a walk, really help process it. And you want to drink some water, lots of water to help move that through. So when we acknowledge and welcome our feelings, we mustn't make them wrong. It's not wrong to feel sad or angry or like pissed off or frustrated or upset. If the tears come, we need to let them come. And of course, if you need support, get that in. Friends, family, loved ones, professional support. When we welcome them, it really, really does take this pressure off. And then we notice we can arrive at peace and calm a lot easier. Okay, I'm just going to have a sip of tea. I'm just looking to see your comments and I can't see them on here. I can see there's 2 comments. Apologies, I will pop back in the group after. Ah, here we go. Nope. I'll pop back in the group after. So the next part we're going to work on is ignoring the wine witch. That pesky wine witch. She just pops up when you're not expecting it and you're like, oh. And then she can get stuck in our head. So that internal voice, which can sound like, oh, go on, you can have one. You've had a hard day. You deserve it. You can start Monday. I remember that voice so well. I don't get it anymore, but I remember how sneaky it is. It tempts us back into our old habits, and all it is our brain reminding us, oh, it's wine time. This is what we do because that's what you've taught me we do. And so now we have to teach our brain a new way. But this can come up as a voice, it can lead to cravings, and it really is just feeling those feelings and distracting yourself, having a strategy in place for silencing that wine witch. So a loud no can just work wonders. Like, no, I am literally not thinking that. I'm not going there. Because the temptation is, this is how we're wired, the temptation is to hook into that because we're wired for pleasure, and we know that we did get pleasure from drinking until it became unpleasurable. And so we don't do that anymore. We have to teach our brains, no, thank you for the reminder, I don't do that anymore. And then replace it with your inner cheerleader voice. So that's the internal action. Come on, Kath, you got this. You can keep going. You can do it. You're going to do it. Show everyone you're going to do it. That kind of thing. And then we want an external action after that. So a habit or a tool that's going to help you to rewire. So this could be, you need to have this planned in place as well. Have something written down, like a list of things that you can do instead of reaching for that glass of wine or whatever the thing is. Like, okay, I will go for a walk. I've actually got a list of 30 odd things on a piece of paper that I keep for when I am like craving sugar and it's not on my plan, it's not a sugar day, I don't want to be doing it. If it's not, I mean, nothing's banned for me. I choose not to indulge in that thing. Because the moment I ban something, I feel restricted. My rebel wants to pop up. And so what I say, I choose to drink if I want to, but I don't. I haven't drunk any alcohol for the last drinking experiment I had was just about 3 years ago. And I started my journey 7.5 years ago. So I've only had a few experiments in that time. But that helped me with the idea of no alcohol forever, which just felt too huge. But find what works for you. Find what works for you. So the power of mindset in overcoming cravings is the work that we need to be doing. And it's thinking as and showing up as the version of you that you are wanting to create. It's the version of you that just doesn't drink anymore, the version of you that you're wanting to embody. So this is root 4 and root 5 of the wellness tree. And these roots are really anchoring you, along with root 3, the mindset, really anchoring you into just who you are now. The next part is dealing with big life challenges. So this is going up that discomfort scale. So there are many major life challenges that can trigger drinking. It can be things like a relationship breakup, a divorce, it could be a death, it could be illness, losing our job change, putting ourselves out there in our business, big stuff, right? Big stuff, a house move, just there's loads of stuff, and life will always have its challenges. So it's really crucial for us to have really specific coping mechanisms in place, having a really strong stay sober plan or a soul freedom plan, whatever you want to call it, having that in place for when we have these really difficult times. This is what you actually get. This is what we work on if you were to work together with me inside my pay programs. This is all tailored for you, specifically for you, because everybody is different. But you can go and you can do your own research. You can find what tools you love to work with and then start to create a plan. And you can have like a place, you can have a folder on your computer, you can have a physical box, you can have something where you keep your specific tools that you love. And so once you know how to support your nervous system, really how to hold yourself, stay grounded and present through the change, right? Then you are navigating through the discomfort. You're practicing really good discomfort management. Queen of discomfort or king of discomfort, if there's any men watching. You're going to have a higher chance, a much, much higher chance of sobriety sticking long term. And so we then can make discomfort our new comfort zone. So we want to learn how to shift perspective so that we're thinking differently. We are thinking as the new identity. This is encouraging a really positive mindset towards discomfort, which is route 3. I mentioned that earlier. And discomfort is a really natural part of our journey. And we grow through the discomfort, through embracing our challenges. Now, there's one thing that really makes this easier. And some people may find this really hard, because I did, and it's still something I'm learning to do. But that is learning to love yourself. Learning to love yourself. So addiction is disconnection. It's really abandoning ourselves. Sobriety is the opposite. It's connection. It's reconnecting. And love is our guide. So we need to learn to recognize when we are disconnected and when we are connected. When we are disconnected, we're likely to be feeling really low vibe thoughts, low vibe feelings, falling into victim mode, really disempowered, almost feeling like we have no control over anything. Connection is the opposite. Connection is when we are feeling really good, we're making great choices, we're feeling really centered, we're feeling happy, we're giving off this lovely vibe. It's having that ripple effect into our different life areas. We're getting on better with people, we're more productive, we're having new ideas, we're saving money, we can actually see possibility. Connection is through that door. Connection is through that door. So we want to learn how to self-nurture, especially during challenging times. I can remember when my husband was really poorly in hospital, very, very poorly. He'd literally just had his heart transplant. He was in the coma. Some of this is a bit blurry because it was quite a long time ago. I was also very, very anxious. I couldn't take in a lot of information, but I was staying up near the hospital in London. And at that time, so this was 8 years ago, almost 9 years ago, I still had my wine problem going on, and I was leaving the hospital, having been with him all day. And then I was stopping at the Co-op on the way back to where I was staying, and I was buying a couple of bottles of wine, sandwiches, crisps, sweets, junk food, chewy things, like literally loads of toxic rubbish, magazines, you know, party for one, feeling really worried about him, totally just all over the place. I couldn't concentrate on anything. And I'd go back and I'd sit on the bed, and I remember drinking the wine. I wasn't getting like blind drunk, but I was, quite tipsy and just numbing out, just generally abandoning myself. And I felt so upset. I felt so angry with myself that I couldn't even, I knew I had to be present for him. This is why, I get quite frustrated when people say, now's not the right time. I can't possibly stop drinking now. There's so much going on. Somebody's ill. It's this is more important than ever before, that we are taking really, really good care of ourselves. Life is so short. Life is precious. So precious. And we need our tools and our resources, and we need ourselves, and to be there for ourselves more than ever. So we need to self-nurture. We need to reparent our inner child. We need to be parent to that child. And we need our child to take responsibility for itself and bring our dreams and our ideas and our goals into actualization. This is where the Queen archetype comes in perfectly, because she takes those dreams from the child and she declares, this is happening, this is what we're doing. And that's when I see people, when they step into their Queen mindset and they're like, I am doing it. And then we get that lovely warrior energy coming in. We do all of this in the reboot, but that warrior energy, I'm going to do this no matter what, really navigating through those life challenges. So we need to know how we're talking to ourselves, the language we're using. How are we talking to ourselves? Are we being kind? Are we being compassionate? Are we being patient? I was never of those things, and any of those things, until finally I discovered, actually, it's a lot easier if we are. We can start to see results when we just go easier on ourselves. And that doesn't mean giving up. That doesn't mean quitting and saying, oh, you've had a bad day, never mind, go and drink a load of wine, try again another time. No, it's being kind and nurturing and using our strategies really effectively. So we need to learn how to be present. So using mindfulness tools to really work through the discomfort, staying really focused. We need to identify our triggers, be aware of the patterns that we typically fall into. Now, things that can really help with this is, I touched on this yesterday, but having a really good support system, having friends, accountability partners in place, having that support, really encouraging each other on and cheerleading and, you've got this, come on, you can do it, let's do a sober weekend together. I had an accountability for the first year sober and it was just amazing. And I think this is the final part, self-reflection and goal setting. So regular self-reflection is really important. Checking in with yourself. How am I doing? How am I feeling? What do I need? What's working? What's not? What feels good? What doesn't? What needs tweaking? What needs changing? So it's like having to adjust those sails so that we do get to that pleasure island, to that gorgeous place where, this is about cultivating our environment and setting it up so it supports us. Your goals need to be simple and achievable so that you can really break down feeling the discomfort of stretching into these goals so that it feels manageable. You're breaking it down, baby chunks. And you'll learn more about this if you join the reset afterwards. I can actually teach you the 5 routes and really where to focus so that you can start creating more of a solid plan. So just remember, during challenging times, we are feeling ungrounded. We're very in our heads, we're overthinking, we're worrying, we're projecting into the future, we're in that fight, flight, freeze response. So we need to make discomfort our friend, because this leads to self-acceptance, and we can use our tools, make a really supportive plan, and just nurture ourselves through this. So quick conclusion. Firstly, really know and understand how transformative feeling discomfort, being with discomfort really is. It is the only way through. And remember to get support with this if you need it. I highly encourage continuous exploration of discomfort, because this is how you're going to find out who you really are at that deepest level. Getting to know the real you. What drives you? What do you love? You're going to have such a rich, incredible, creative, fun, juicy life. The deeper you go with this. Ultimate soul freedom. It's like, I believe it's the way home to our true home. And navigating discomfort is not just a survival skill, but it's such a key part of really thriving on our sobriety journey. Now tomorrow I'm going to talk about self-discipline and finding freedom from drinking. Now I have a really powerful reframe for discipline. You're going to love it. I promise you, you're going to love it. Remembering that this week, it's Valentine's week. The focus is on self-love. And we're now we have spent the last couple of days talking about the difficult things, the things that we don't really want to look at, and this is great. So I know it might feel a bit like, oh, I don't want to be hearing this, I just don't want to go there. The truth is, we have to be okay with being messy, being vulnerable, looking at our shadow stuff, the stuff we don't want to look at. Because when we do that, when we start opening this door, it's shining a light on these things so that we can then start working with them. And then when we really look at these, it's like, oh, when we're feeling them, we get the breakthroughs, we get the transformation. And then you'll see that we're going to now start looking at reinvention. Reinventing you, which means whole new identity, whole new life, letting go of everything that doesn't serve anymore. This is my work, it's my passion, it's my mission, it's like the core of me, and I am so passionate in helping others to do this. So I hope you found today helpful. I know it's feeling tough and yucky probably right now, but stick with me, because we have to do this work. It's really, really necessary if you want to get through to the other side. And tomorrow is going to be a really fun one. Let me know how you found this. Any questions, pop them below or send me a private message. Lots of love. Bye.